welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures morning show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer. Award-winning. Look at that light. Look at that uplight, Dr. Tachi. Look at it. Okay. Award-winning fractional chief operating officer with an exclusive clientele of 6 and 7 figure CEOs. However, I have a mission. That mission includes you, entrepreneurs and small business owners who are spinning their wheels and struggling to get to their first 6 figures in business. I want to help you to make the money and create time freedom. Let's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. I'll spare you where I've been in the 5 years, but just know I am currently living my best life and working my best business from Mexico. Okay, so let's get into it. It all starts with the blog. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/graduate. Okay, because what we're talking about this week is small business growth stages and how to graduate to the next stage, right? So there are stages to small business growth. You can go from one stage to the next stage quickly or slowly. But if you are an entrepreneur without a bunch of capital, you're really going to go through these stages. Like you're probably not going to skip one, right? So fast or slow, you're going to go through them. Now, we are not, us as entrepreneurs, we're not like corporations, okay? They come in and start off with business plans and a bunch of capital. They start hiring from the top down. So they're hiring their experts and leaders first and filling in the rest of the team later, right? So they do all of that before they open their doors. So they don't have the same stages as we stage because we don't have the luxury of all of this capital and being able to come in with team. Okay, so let's talk about the stages, what it looks like to be in them, and how to get out of them to get to the next one. Okay, now yesterday we talked about the first 2 stages. The first one was transactional, right? Basically, you got something to sell and people are buying. That's the transactional stage. It's when you first start, it's when you have the idea or somebody dropped that seed into your head and say, oh, you can sell that, or hey, sell me that, right? That's that first stage. It comes with some perks. It's where that entrepreneurial spirit kind of gets you. Okay, it's like you gotcha. Now you in this tornado with the rest of us, right? But it also is where you have a great realization. So if you want more about that, go to yesterday's replay. We also talked about stage number 2, which is when you realize, hey, I kind of like this entrepreneurial thing. I want to get into it. I want a business. I want to keep being in business. That's your survival stage, okay? Because what you realize is how you started off is not how you're going to be able to keep going, okay? How you started off was, you might have spent way more money giving something to somebody who gave you less money than it took to produce that thing, right? Because you weren't thinking about business and you weren't necessarily business minded when you started off. So what you recognize is you cannot survive that way, right? And you also know you need more people to sell to. It can't just be the small amount of people in your close network, right? So that's what you experience in the second stage. Want to know how to get out? Check out yesterday's replay, okay? Now, today we're going to talk about capacity. It's the third stage of small business growth, or the entrepreneurial journey, really is really what I should call it. And we kind of hit on it yesterday, right? So capacity, getting more clients, okay, means getting more help. This stage comes with the reality that you may not be able to do it all alone. You start to realize if you just had an extra set of hands or maybe a clone, then you could get more done and you could make more money. Okay, now the modern entrepreneur is definitely going to start with technology. Okay, in fact, let's go back to the 2 quotes I tell you about every time I talk about technology and needing help, right? Chris L. Davis of Automation Bridge taught me years ago that we do not purchase tech, we hire tech, okay? But in my years of being a coach, what I know is y'all don't just hire tech first. Y'all hire tech before y'all want to hire people, okay? So us modern people that know anything about tech, we go to tech first. And then after we save as much time and get as much done with tech, then we know we need support roles. We need team, okay? So then they hire support roles, but they are still very much, you are still very much in the day-to-day doing whatever it takes to get the main offer out there, right? To service the main offer, to market the main offer, you still are in the day-to-day, okay? Now, both team and tech can open up your growth. But with growth comes bigger growing pains, right? Every time we grow, there's some pain because that means something's not working, right? So when we first start off and we're doing a lot, we have created these rules and protocols and processes that we follow. And they have our strengths and our weaknesses in mind, right? As you start to add in tech, you got to tweak that a little bit. As you start to add in people, you got to tweak that a lot, right? You have to now start to realize that how you handle things is not a rinse and repeat process for someone to come behind you and handle it like that and get the same result. Okay, so I call it, we need a Big Mac method, right? Or a McDonald's method. We need to be able to assemble a Big Mac and show other people how to assemble a Big Mac so that the Big Mac tastes the same, looks the same, is the same for every client buying a Big Mac. Okay, so that might mean that maybe you was toasting the bread first and that didn't matter because you was doing everything else very quickly. When you got it in, the whole thing was warm. But when somebody else is doing it and they're learning the process, that bread gets cold by the time they get all that stuff on it. So maybe now they have to warm the bread last, right? So things like that are going to become important, processes and stuff. Okay, so as you get bigger, your original way of doing things simply won't work. You need new ways and rinse and repeat steps for efficiency to meet demand. So let's make it plain. The key characteristics of capacity stage is the business sees an increase in demand and recognizes the need for additional help, either through hiring or technology. Okay. Your challenge, managing growth without compromising quality or customer service, is the significant challenge. Okay. You may also adapt your operational processes to handle increased capacity. Now, the strategy to get to the next phase, invest in technology that automates routine tasks, help for support roles, but also creating scalable processes and ensuring that the business can handle more work without a drop in quality. Okay. So growth is just more of something. Scale is growth that is handled exceptionally. Okay. Those are my definitions. Okay. Now, basic definitions is growth is more. Scale is can handle great amounts of activity with no problem, is how they like to say it. But I don't want to say no. I want you to show up in excellence, right? So you can handle growth with excellence. All right. Now, ladies, as you think about it, a lot of y'all might have a foot in survival and a foot in capacity, right? We kind of talked about that with Heather yesterday, so I'm going to start with Heather. Heather, we already know you got a foot in survival and a foot in capacity. Tell us about it. Tell us what about this stage you recognize about yourself, and do you understand how you're going to win at capacity and get over the scale?
Well, first of all, I don't know that I know how I'm going to win, but that's why I'm in this group. But but also, so what's happening right now is I have my main thing, which we defined in the fall as my writing program.
Okay.
But and I've never really marketed for editing, but because I have this amazing circle of people and past clients, I keep getting referrals for editing. I don't have that capacity. So I need to bring on a couple of contract editors to help with that capacity. And as you advised, is to take kind of a divide and conquer approach to it. So they'll handle like the rules of it and like grammar, punctuation, that sort of thing. And I'll handle the big ideas part of it, like making sure everything's consistent and congruent and people don't just fall out of your story or you don't tie up your loose ends, right? So it'll be a divide and conquer strategy. What I need to do is put the power of Chatty to work and help me with give a description of the process that I currently use and how that can translate into an SOP for others.
Okay.
So I'm in survival because I'm still like obviously trying to make this work and because I don't have a plan B, like this is it. So we got to make it work. And then into capacity, I'm like, I'm almost full up here, so I need help.
Exactly. Now, in the information that I gave today, right? Because I know it's a lot of information, but you said you don't know how to go to the next stage, but I gave it in the information today, right? So what you're going to realize as you're bringing in people to help you with your capacity, this is when
Yeah,
you're going to realize the way that you do things may or may not work. So you
correct.
need to be watching out for that, and you need to be in conjunction with them creating a system that will work for people who are not you,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
And what we know is to get fully in capacity out of survival, right? And get from capacity to scale. Now we need rinse and repeat processes. We need to
Yeah.
start creating systems. So
Yes.
that's your answer.
Yep.
Cool beans. Now I want to go on my Hollywood squares. I skipped to Ray, so I'm gonna go to Ray. To Ray, what do you think about all of this? Because some of this has to do with other businesses that you've been in, and some of them are maybe a little far away from the business that you're in now because you have slowed your business down to make it to be what you want it to be, not necessarily the business leading you, right? But what do you see in these stages that are going to affect you next? Tell people where you are and then tell people what's next for you and how this information is going to help.
Yeah. So right now,
I love your media training, by the way. I just love that shit. That shit just warms my heart. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
right now, where I am is that I'm me and Chef Nina are in this place where we want to live our soft lives.
Yes.
I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. If I want to
Mm-hmm.
sleep in until 10 and then sip tea until noon, that's what I want to do. If
Yes.
I want to get up, last week I had a massage and a facial. I'm planning
Yes.
vacations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I was real. Let me just tell the truth. I was real encouraged and inspired when I saw that lump sum of money in my business checking account last
Mm. Yep.
week. My husband was like, "Yeah, what?" I was like, I'm real encouraged. So
Yes.
now I'm taking another look at my business, and I'm like, it could be because you have to understand for the last 5 years of being in TSP and in Mastermind, my business didn't make any. My business in 5 years didn't make as much money as what was sitting in my bank account last week.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, so okay, so I did something right. I didn't messed around and went to Mexico with Shay last year. So hold up. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At our brunch with Shay, Shawana was like, you know what, Teray? And she y'all need to have some y'all need to every once in a while you need to have a conversation with Shawana.
Good.
Shawana in 5 minutes was just like, you know what? I just want to commend you because I watched you put into action what you learned in Mexico, and I just want to commend you. I see it, and it's working for you. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's so sweet. And then it didn't come back. What she said didn't come back to me until I looked into my bank account last week, and it almost brought tears to my eyes because I
Yeah.
didn't even recognize it until she said it, and then I saw it. So now it's making me rethink. I'm like, now I can take all of what I've learned and I can make it work for me, but I can do it in my terms. I don't have to work on it every day.
Exactly.
And my audience
And
is
let me tell
hungry.
you, Teray, it's funny because I felt like, right, that when we had our quick little conversation, and it wasn't even voice to voice, right?
Mhm.
It was writing to writing. When we had our quick little conversation, when you were like, I think I'm gonna step back a little, and this is what this is what I would like to do as stepping back, right? And I was like, yeah, it needs to be what you needed to be. I felt like just for an instant you was like, okay, you were the first person that taught me that TSP or other things don't have to be such a hustle, but in this moment when it really count, I almost felt like you thought I was going to try to make you hustle. I almost felt like you thought I was going to go back on what I said. No, this thing is always supposed to be what you want it to be,
Mm,
especially when you have
mm,
the luxury of not having to be the breadwinner. Come on
mm,
now, why the fuck
mm.
you hustle? Right?
Right,
Oh yes,
right,
it should be exactly what you want it to be.
right. Even if it means I take a break for 3 months and I come back.
Yes.
I want it to be what I want it to
Or
be.
even if it means you never come back, or even
Right,
if it means
right,
when you come back, it looks totally different.
right,
At the end of the day, it should be what you want it to be.
right.
Right? Because at the point that you get to where you have to actually depend on it
Right.
for whatever reason, you
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to already be into that part of it's what I want it to be. And I'm only scaling what I want it to be. I'm only getting more of what I want already. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Cool
so
beans.
and it was whenever I looked at I'm about to be 50 in a couple months. What do I want this year to look like? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want? And I do want to help women to live the life that I have. Because I love my life, but I don't want to be stressed out by being forced to hustle. That's not what I want. I want what I want. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
I also want to help women, but I want to do it the way I want to do it. So now I've taken a step back. Now I'm like, what is it that I want to do at this point? I just shipped. Wait, I was a minister, and one of the prophets that I was in ministry with some years ago came to my inbox last week, and she said, "Hey, we're doing a ministry something or other, and I want to help Christian women with your book, but I want to read it and I want to pray over it." I shipped her a book. She's gonna get it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna do a conference, and she needs my book that she wants to teach from it, and she wants me to fly to the city to
Yes.
see what I'm saying. So yeah, so this is about to happen. So I need to continue to stay active, and I need to shift my mindset. I need to start thinking through. I'm still getting Heather's emails. I still need a workbook. I still need a journal. I didn't forget about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it in my own time. I'm still working with my publisher because I
But
still
everything
want
that you're doing right now is only going to make the workbook and the journal better.
what everything I'm doing now. What do you mean?
Will only make the workbook and the journal
What,
better.
do you mean what I'm doing now?
Getting out there, talking to people about the book, seeing how people
Oh,
are reacting to the book, doing
yeah,
collaborations with the book that gives you access to even more people. All
got
of
it.
that is going to help you put better things into the workbook, better things into the journal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Didn't
so
mean to confuse you. My bad. My bad.
yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Trying to see. I'm trying to figure out what the next move is, because what I thought it would be a month or two ago, I'm realizing that that's not so much based on my client reaction
And based on what you want to do
and
and
based
don't
on
want to
what I
do.
want to do and what I don't want to do.
Yes. So do y'all see why y'all waiting to make things perfect? You still are missing over half of the education, right? I keep telling y'all, the education is in the execution. That's where it is. Quote me on that. Because everything you're doing before you put it out there, all that shit is theory. It's great, but it's theory. You're still missing the other side. Until you execute, the information you really need is on the other side of execution. Period. All right. Thank you, Teray. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Well, let's go to Dr. Tachi. I'm going to come to you next, but let's go to Facebook because Facebook is on fire right now. Demetra said, good morning, y'all. Then she said, yes, I'm doing my life my way. When I turned 50, I said, the reality is that more than half of my life may be gone. So I'm going to make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yes, ma'am. I say that all the time. Tracy is over here. Tracy said, yes, that is awesome, Teray. We all need to shift our mindsets. I love this. Demetra said, my next move is incorporating travel into the kids' educational experience. Look at that. She's going to bring both of her businesses under one. Tracy said, yes, I needed to hear this today. Yes, because y'all be trying to perfect stuff. There's no perfection until you have. Teray loves to cook, right? So all of her theory is in the recipe, right? She can keep putting stuff and adding stuff and putting stuff and adding stuff, but guess what? She don't have the information of whether or not people are going to like it and think it tastes good until she actually serves it, right? So again, if y'all don't serve up these offers to get more information and stop being personally tied to the results when you should be looking at it as data, not your self-worth, come through now. All right, I'm gonna stop us. All right. Y'all be making me, boy. Okay, Dr. Tachi. We're talking about capacity. Do you recognize capacity and how to get the scale? And where are you in your business? And do you feel like you now have at least an overview of how to get to the next stage?
Yeah, I do. So it feels like I have a foot in all three steps in a sense.
Mhm.
At this point, I actually am looking to get capacity because this is not something I can really do by myself. So the fact now that I'm working with Dr. Vibe and we have one intern, and I just attended an event with Toronto Metropolitan University where it was kind of like a speed networking type thing, and we had interns. So we're going to have a fair amount of interns for the summer. In fact, we already have 3 more that will take us through the summer. So now it's just kind of not just based off of them, but based off of what I've been able to see, the one I have do, refine the SOPs so that, because the thing is, you fall in love. Like the intern I have now is so great. It's like, oh, I want to keep her. And I may very well, but I can't keep all the damn interns. So I have to have procedures so that the next one that comes in can follow.
Yes, yes. And another thing is sometimes what happens is we get a great person on the team and we're not having them to create SOPs around what they're doing that's so great. So when they leave, the greatness leaves with them, right? So that's what we need to do. Thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. Dewana, and listening to what we're saying about capacity today and how you get to scale, we already know that you said you had like a foot in transactional, well, a toe maybe in transactional, but most of you right now is in survival. Do you see any capacity in your business?
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. So actually I don't think I have even a toenail in
Transactional.
in transactional. I think
Good.
I'm like really, really in the middle and maybe on the edge, because I've been talking about um shipping and trying to figure out that whole automation piece. So I'm right on the cusp of capacity, but that's
Yeah.
also going to have to cause me to have to hire somebody else, because that's really where I am. I'm like, I'm a one-man band and I can't do all this by myself.
Mm-mm.
So I'm like right in the middle of, I'm stuck in survival. I feel like I'm stuck in survival. I don't think I could be, but I'm like right on the edge of capacity. So I've been talking to my other partners too. We're like, okay, how do we shift this thing so we can get to scale? So that's literally where I'm sitting right now.
Cool beans. Love it. Love it. Glow, I'm going to come to you next. But again, Facebook is on fire. Dr. Toya has joined us and she said, I realized I was building a job for myself and said that had to change. The money was good, but I didn't have the quality of life I wanted. Currently figuring out what I want my day flow to look like. Yes. We we got some trainings in our membership for that, Dr. Toya. If you want to join us, shaycannon.com/membership. And then Teray said, I'm sorry, not Teray, but Demetra said Teray should write a love recipes cookbook. Oh, I love that idea. Then Dr. Toya came back and said she's in survival and capacity. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. This is why I didn't go by what all of the big people are saying about business as far as what these phases are. I work with y'all, and when I read those phases, I was like, I don't think y'all get it for how entrepreneurs work, right? And so what I knew for sure is that y'all's phases were transactional, survival, capacity, and scale. I knew it for sure, right? Like I live it, I coach it, I work in it all the time, right? So I'm glad that y'all are resonating with this, because it is confirmation that yeah, again, your girl is a vessel. I be knowing, but it'd be a download, right? All right, Glow. Survival, what is it? Transactional, survival, capacity, scale. Where are you and where do you need to go? See if Glow can come off the mic. I don't think she can. And Kimberly is at the Dream Funder. So Kimberly, you can use the comments. Glow, you can use the comments if you can't come off the mic. Leticia, I don't know if you've heard enough to participate just yet. Look at her. She's like, please, I don't want to talk. I'm an introvert. Whatever. It just so happens I'm going to let you go today, because guess what? We're going to talk about something that is going to make you want to talk. because I have my versions of the business growth stage, but guess what else I'm talking about? We should all be millionaires, her 7 stages, and the billionaire code. See, look at y'all saw a face change. Y'all saw a face change. I be knowing y'all. Okay. So yesterday, yesterday we talked about look at her. She got her billionaire code decoded. And it's so funny because I'm not even using it. I'm just using the table. But I did give y'all the link to that thing because it's one of his. Yep, that's what I'm using right there. So with the billionaire code, what you know was we talked about the seeker and the starter yesterday. Today we're going to talk about the promoter and the builder. Okay, the promoter is the 100K to 300K. All right, now you're full time. Okay, you're full time in this thing. Okay, your focus, he says, should be automated lead generation and one-to-one sales. Okay, your primary question you should be asking: how do I get ahead? Y'all see that capacity, right? You see the capacity in it. And then the biggest hurdle to that is leveraging lead generation, right? A lot of us know how to get emails on the email list, right? We like, oh, I could do that all day. But then you don't know what to do with the emails, right? So lead generation leveraging. What do you need? You need sales strategies and systems, okay? And then he said to graduate, you need to generate leads and convert consistently or low leverage. So I'm gonna leave the low leverage out. So you need leads consistently. You need to know how to convert those leads in a consistent way. Okay, that's what I'll say to not confuse y'all. The communication system that you need to add: contractor and outsourcing. What is that? We on capacity. Y'all see that? Because you're adding team. We already talked about the tech, and here goes the team. Movement. You need to find the early adopters and the advocates. Okay. Let me tell y'all what I learned about that from my global marketing network. My global marketing network taught me that everybody be trying to get okay. So there's a bell curve, right? So right at the beginning are going to be your early adopters, people who are willing to try it, right? Then at the top, and the most people need your testimonials. The most people need, the things they say at work, the case studies and all of that. But that's what most people are. But before you can get to the most people, you got to get to the early adopters, right? Because the most people need the testimonials from the early adopters to make a decision. Y'all gonna make me preach here. I'm gonna let it go. Okay. He said your tribe, right? Right now, when it comes to your tribe, you need to understand your tribe more. How many times do I tell y'all you need to understand your client avatar? It needs to be 20 to 30 points of understanding. See, if y'all didn't know I was an expert, let me just tell you, hallelujah. Let me stop. Okay. Your team, your team, ongoing contractors, project contractors, service contractors, and maybe a first team member. That's what it looks like. Okay, that was the promoter. Let's go to the builder and understand that we're going way beyond 6 figures, right? So the promoter was, 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. Builder is multiple 6 figures to the million, okay? Because remember, this is the billionaire code. So we going beyond. We got to get you thinking different, okay? The builder, they're not just working full time, they're working overtime, okay? They're working overtime. They have their focus is automatic marketing and leveraged sales. They got sales, they're leveraging sales. Okay. The primary question: how do I get further ahead? The biggest hurdle: leverage sales. They don't know how to leverage the sales yet. They're getting them, they don't know how to leverage them. Okay. What do they need, or what do they need at this point, right? Marketing strategies and systems. Okay. To graduate, they got to build systems and processes around what they do well. Now, let me tell y'all something about that. See, this is why you can't be stuck in perfectionism. Because in perfectionism, you ain't did shit yet. So you don't have data. So you don't even know what you do well and what you don't do well, because you won't take a risk to do shit at all. Okay, I'm going to pull it back. That was too many cuss words. I'm pull it back. Okay. All right. Let's go back. To graduate, business systems and processes around what you do well. Your communication system that you need to add: team, as in your team. Okay. Movement, you need to grow the movement. In other words, you need to take your message on tour. You need to grow that message. Okay. Your tribe, you now need to be growing your tribe. And guess what? You can't grow a tribe without a message. Just so y'all know. Tribes tribe up behind things they believe in. The thing they believe in is a message. What is your message? This is your messaging. This is why when you don't have clarity, that's why you ain't got no tribe. Ain't nobody following no confused for okay, Christians. What do they say? Now in business, they say a confused mind don't buy, right? But in religion, or should I say Christianity, they let you know our God is not a God of confusion. So what? Oh, you want a tribe? And the biggest person with a tribe is not confused at all, and you out here confused wondering where your tribe at? Okay, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Ooh, stepping on toes all day. Oh my God, I'm a vessel. Don't forget I'm a vessel. This is a message for y'all. It ain't just me. Okay. The team, you need multiple team members and then some contractors. Okay. So let's go to Rachel Rogers. Okay. The next two on hers is Busy Bee, and that's 50K to 99,999. And then Breadwinner, which is 100K to 249,999. Okay. So again, we're doing the same thing. We're hitting our 6 figures and we're going into multiple 6 figures with her. Okay. Now, like I told you, with her, I love that she talks about mindset and actions that are keeping you stuck. Okay. So with the first one, Busy Bee, I think. Let me go back. I don't want to miss. Yeah, Busy Bee. Okay. Your mindset hurdle is fear of focus. Okay. Fear of focus. Not having enough time to do projects that will develop your business. Not saying no enough. Delivering too many offers to too many different type of clients. Hey, maybe y'all are here when Rachel Rogers said. Maybe y'all are here when she said. I feel like a parent right now. Look, telling my son, well, maybe you'll understand when your basketball coach said, because it's the same shit I've been, okay, I digress. Okay, how do you have a growth mindset instead? You recognize that you don't have to say yes to everyone with a pulse and a wallet. Boom, every client ain't your client, every customer ain't your customer. I don't care if they do got money, okay? All right, that's the evolution. Okay, stagnating actions. You treading water with busy stuff, okay? Keeping yourself extremely busy, trying to keep your head and revenue above water. Having little to no time to take a step back and assess where your greatest opportunities lie. Fear of taking a risk now that you finally got your business to work. Feeling afraid to make a mistake. Feeling sorry for yourself because you're overwhelmed by a to-do list. Oh, okay. The growth inducing action is to identify one main client to serve and one key way to serve them. Yeah, again, maybe y'all are believing when somebody else said, but let's talk about that time management thing. I'm so clear. Okay. I'm so clear. I already created that step for y'all. shaycannon.com/membership. That's everything we tackle. Your time management, being productive, and all of the mindset things y'all got going on. Okay. No excuses. Y'all can't say I ain't thought of it. I thought of it. Okay, we got it. All right, let's see if Facebook over here. They might be quiet because y'all know I've been stepping on toes the last 10 minutes. Yeah, they quiet. They quiet. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, Dr. Tanya new to it, and y'all, my bad. I'm bad. My bad. But now, let me check this chat. Let's see. Kimberly said, unfortunately, I missed it. A lot of activity around me. No problem. Letitia said, I love this chart. Yep. Heather said, I'll print it when I get home. Dewana said, what does leverage sales mean? Great question. So Dewana, sometimes we get in sales and we don't know how to leverage them. And what that means is it really kind of points back to what we talked about last week, right? You get one sale, do you know how to leverage it? Can you get a down sale? Can you get a cross sale? Can you get an upsell, right? Or I know I can easily sell to this type of person. Who else has these type of people? I need to leverage what I know about who I'm selling to. So those are examples of leveraging sales. Kimberly said, my clarity is short right now. Glow said, I'm so confused and I don't want my tribe following if I'm confused. I'm not too sure as where I stand now and I have an understanding. Understood, Glow. So Glow, this is why I tell you, first of all, you got to pick one business to focus on with most of your focus. And the other stuff has to be a complement in some way, right? So what you usually focus on, because you kind of got the hair thing down, right? So what you usually focus on is the podcast, right? So with the podcast, this is where you can bring in the hair, because you can podcast while doing hair, and that is putting a subtle thing in that you do hair, right? Yes, it's Sheriffin. Alex Sheriffin is the author, Dr. Tachi. But Glow, what you have to understand too is you still have so much confusion because you have not invested in clarity. Okay? Everybody is smart. Everybody, if it only took the stuff on Google, everybody would be where they were supposed to be. Right? It's not that you're not smart enough to make sense of the Google stuff. It's that you need an expert and a plan from an expert. You have to invest in that, Glow, unfortunately. Like, you can't piecemeal and Google your way to the clarity that you need for where you are. Like, we do what we can on the show for free, but at the end of the day, that's an investment, right? Teray said, and then duplicate the customer. Exactly. We did Dr. Tachi. Teray said, go on the retreat and you'll get clarity. Ooh, that's one way. You don't even have, the retreat ain't even the only way. So y'all go to shaycannon.com/offers. You'll see the whole offer ladder. It goes by how much time and how much money you have. And then Heather put in the sheriffin.com. There's also billionairecode.com. If you want to go directly to that, because his website, he keeps jumping into different things based off the success of the last thing. So you go to Sheriffin and not even see no billionaire code stuff. So yeah. All righty, y'all. This was a lot. I know. But come off the mic if you want to talk about capacity, or if you want to talk about the billionaire code, or the we should all be millionaire stages that we talked about today. Anybody got any questions, anything you want to add? Heather?
I think combined, they create a full picture. By themselves, they're great, but when you bring them together, it actually adds clarity and gets rid of even more fog, if that makes sense. You know, and I'm like halfway through We Should All Be Millionaires. It's at home. I need to pull it out again to finish the book. But this was understanding more about how capacity works and what is necessary to serve capacity, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. I was really looking forward to this discussion this morning. So this was good. Thank you.
And I'll put the link to the Alex stuff. Let me see. I put it in yesterday's broadcast. I'll put it in today's too. And I can't find where he wrote a whole book, y'all. I think it's just this booklet. I don't know. You know, he's doing what a lot of people do, which is when they move on, you can't find their previous shit no more. So here we go. Which I don't recommend, because that's how you get new fans, to move them through to your new stuff. Okay, I put it in the comments on Facebook. There y'all go. But this is why I brought all of these things together, right? Because what I understand is I've been hearing some of the same stuff y'all have been hearing. And even with my level of expertise of business, some stuff they're talking over my head, or they're not giving enough detail for me to understand. I shouldn't be glossing over that. There's more to it, right? This is why I brought all of it together for y'all. But also, the number one thing I need y'all to realize is business needs what it needs. Y'all need to get out your feelings. Ain't no money in there. Y'all around here with negative self-talk. Y'all around here thinking it's just you. You're just not good at business. This is why I'm hitting this obstacle. Meanwhile, every fucking body hitting the same obstacle, right? Because it's just the stages of business. So if you don't learn nothing else, even if you don't learn how to get out of these damn stages, I want you to get out your fucking feelings. That's what I really want. Okay? Because if you can first get out your feelings, then you can get into business. And then you'll get into some money. All right? All right. I done cussed and stepped on toes and all kind of stuff. Teray, what you want to add?
Yeah, I think that I just want to make a comment. I think what I'm recognizing is that, and I'm going to pick on Glow for a little bit, not on purpose.
Well, just know it's out of love, Glow.
It's out of love, because she's not the only one And so I'm pulling her out because she's not the only one. I feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs like her who have been doing what they've been doing, and they've been getting by the skin of their teeth. And so now the climate of business is changing, and they're struggling a little bit. And so they want answers. So they jump on calls like this to get answers. And then Shay has this great information, and they know it'll work, but they can't get it to work. And so they're like, why won't it work? And then an expert like Shay comes in, and she said, well, in order to get it to work, you have to pour more into it than what you're doing. But she's too busy to pour more into it because she's doing the struggle. She's on this struggle bus that she's been on that has been working up until now, but it's not working as much as it's been because the climate of business is changing, when really you have to stop to pour in to make the investment for it to do what you need it to do. But you're scared to stop because then, you won't get what you've been getting. But in order to get more, you have to stop to pour in the investment, the time, the money. But you don't have the time and the money because then you won't get what you've been getting. But what you've been getting isn't enough. You got to do it.
Yeah,
You
it's
need
never
more
a good
information.
time, a great time. Never.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's necessary. It's just necessary. You know what I mean? Like my son is in this thing where, he's like, I want to make more money, but I need more education, but I don't have time or money for more education, but I need to make more money. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. So you have to do it. You need more information about how to build your lock business. You don't have the information that you need. You need more information about how to expand your podcast. Whatever you're doing, you need more information. You don't have clarity on either one. The climate of business has changed. It's not you. It's the climate of business. We're in 2024. You need more. We're in a season of AI. You need more. Period. You just do.
And I think, Tori, you really nailed what you talk about, because there's investment of time and there's an investment of money, right? And until I spent money investing in myself and my business, my clarity was for shits. I had an idea of who I was serving, but not really.
Right.
I kind of knew what my main thing should be, but then did I? There were questions. And when you have all those questions, you need to partner with someone who knows more than you. So I talk about editing, right? Like I'm your objective, fresh perspective, right? Because I'm not emotionally tied to your material. But that's what investing in business coaching is as well. They're not emotionally tied to you. Right. They're not emotionally tied to what your business is. They're looking, Shay, for instance, is looking at everything from a very objective, arm's length view to see what's going to succeed. If you can follow instructions, then you can be coached to success, but you have to invest your time and your money to make it happen.
I think there's another aspect of it. I think maybe in the past that those of us who've been in this game for a while, we've also followed a number of other people, and they've been spewing nonsense, and we've tried what they've offered, and they've, that'll be $97, that'll be $497, and we've poured in and we got nothing in return. And there's so much information to learn and to apply, and it's overwhelming. So we don't know what we need. We don't know who we should follow. We don't know what we should pour into our business, and we feel stuck, and it's overwhelming, and we don't know what to do. But we need to do something, and we need to apply, and we don't know. And you know what I mean? It's like, I'm in Shay's group, but I'm in this person's group, and I'm in over here. And you need to decide for yourself what you need, who you need to follow, and not follow everybody. I don't know, those of you who are in churches, you can't go to everybody's church. You can't follow everybody's pastor. You can't listen to what everybody's preaching. So you need to decide who's saying what, because if you're listening to Shay and you're listening to 3 other people, everybody's saying something different. So you need to decide who you need to follow, and you need to follow them and decide what works and invest in your. This is not about Shay. This is not about Lamar. It's about your business, and you need to decide what your business needs, and you need to invest. It's about your business. You need to figure out what your business needs, invest the time, invest the resources, get your business what you need. Because if you don't, your business is going to go downhill, and it's not going to last, period.
And it's
So
so
that's
funny.
my
It's so
advice.
funny, Teray, because the funny thing about it is if you invest in clarity, everything else you invested in becomes more valuable. Period.
Period.
Period. It's just some knowledge comes before other knowledge. That's all.
And let me just say this. I've followed hundreds. I've been in this business game for over 20 years. Over 20 years. I have a business degree. I've followed a lot of people. When I tell you that Shay is a one-stop shop, these people out here that's spewing nonsense, you don't need to follow anybody else. I'm just saying. Shay's not paying me. Shay and I aren't besties from high school. I'm saying I've learned more from Shay than a lot of people. I learned a lot from TSP. TSP wasn't right for me. It's not that they're not helping people. They weren't right for me. If you've been following Shay. I'm speaking to Glow. You've been following Shay for a long time, so it's something. I don't know who else you're following. You can invest. You need to invest in your business to get your business what it needs, because it needs clarity, but it needs more than clarity. But you need to start with clarity. Yeah. Period.
Now, I will say that I ain't trying to be a one-stop shop, though. I'm focused on getting you to your first 6 figures and beyond. But because that's my focus, that is that clarity, that is that structure, that is those first strategies. And most of what y'all are investing in are these high-level strategies. And the reason why they don't work is because you don't have the foundation of what I teach.
Foundation is what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say one-stop shop, once you get that foundation, that's pretty much what you need.
It's your leap pad. It's your launch pad. Now you can jump off and boost and go wherever. And now all the high levels, you will recognize whether or not some high level stuff is for you, and if it's not, if you have the right foundation. So yeah, I appreciate that, Teray and Heather and everybody. And Teray Glow did answer you down there. She said, I loved how you put that, Teray, because that's me. I feel like I'm missing so much, but it takes investing to see the results. So yes. Tracy said, yes, she is. And Shay meets you where you are and connects the dots so that you have clarity and the tools to elevate. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, then. Look, I love all this commercial that's going to be replayed and clipped up. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Okay. But we'll be back tomorrow to round out our fourth stage of business that I am calling scale. And then we're going to dip back into We Should All Be Millionaires level. And we're going to dip back into the billionaire code, because that's going to be, look, we're going to be dreaming by then, right? So let's get it. Let's dream big. Let's do this shit big. So I'll see you tomorrow. The studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, everybody.